He dropped 200 pounds and says the biggest battle wasn't with food, it was with the stories he told himself. So how did Quinton Aaron, the gentle giant from The Blind Side, go from 575 to 375? And why does he say the next 55 will be the most important of his life? He didn't post a glossy after photo and disappear. He didn't pretend it was easy. He came back again and again, through cravings, through comments, through the shame spiral, and kept moving. This isn't a miracle montage. It's a messy, human comeback told by the man who lived it. But that was only the beginning. He calls it a milestone, not a finish line. 200 pounds gone. The number alone is dramatic, but the tone of his voice is what stops you. Calm, clear, grateful. The kind of relief that sounds like someone finally put down a suitcase they've carried for a decade. He admits the scale is just a snapshot. Some days it loves him, some days it lies. Either way, he's learned to treat it like a dashboard light, not a judge and jury. The win he's celebrating isn't just weight, it's ownership. The choice to show up, even when no one's watching. And what happened next surprised everyone. The routine looks simple on paper. He cut the candy bars and the "I'll start Monday" mindset. He eased into a keto groove, higher fat, low carbs, steady protein. He drank water like it was a job. He walked. He stretched. He let fasting quiet the noise long enough to hear what he actually felt. No fancy trainer, no Hollywood detox, just the most underrated program in the world. Consistency. He learned that perfection is a trap, the kind that tells you to blow up a whole week because of one late-night slip. So he replaced punishment with a plan. If he veered off, he didn't spiral. He reset at the next meal. But the real twist was still hidden. Food was my drug. That's the sentence that changed the room. Not a complaint, not an excuse, a confession. He talked about parking lot binges with the windows up and the radio low, eating when he wasn't even hungry, and feeling the rush turn to regret halfway through. If you know, you know. It's not about willpower. It's about wiring. Comfort linked to chaos. Celebration linked to self-sabotage. He didn't dress it up or make it cinematic. He just named it. And the moment he did, the monster shrank. Not disappeared, shrunk. Big enough to respect, small enough to confront. And then something unexpected started to happen. Momentum showed up, quietly at first. Fewer secret stops, more honest check-ins. A step counter that began to look like a diary of good decisions. He stacked small wins into bigger ones. The first 20, then 50, then 100, then 150. Milestones aren't fireworks. They're dots on a timeline that suddenly connect into a picture. He crossed 200 pounds down and posted proof not to flex, but to keep the promise public. He knows the internet loves a before and after, but he's building a before, during, after. The kind where you can look back and point to the gritty middle and say, that's where I didn't quit. But the journey didn't stay smooth. He had weeks that bent him. The scale bounced. Travel wrecked routines. Old cravings knocked like bad friends at midnight. He talked about the day after effect. The shame that convinces you the damage is permanent, so you might as well keep going until Monday. This time, he chose something different. He decided the comeback starts on the next decision, not the next week. He kept imperfect as a badge, not a scar. And that's the part most transformations skip, the art of failing forward. He learned to forgive himself fast and fix the plan faster. And the mindset shift turned out to be the real makeover. The language changed. I can't became, I don't. I'm trying became, I'm doing. He stopped calling it punishment and started calling it preparation. Instead of obsessing over what he was losing, sugar, bread, that buzz from a bag, he asked what he was gaining: energy, focus, credibility with himself. He built rituals instead of rules. Morning water before morning anything. A walk it off loop for stress. A 10-minute stretch during shows instead of scrolling. He reframed hunger as a dial, not a siren. Sometimes it's your body asking for fuel. Sometimes it's your feelings asking for comfort. He learned the difference. But the story isn't just personal. He's been public about purpose for years. Anti-bullying talks, youth outreach, using his platform to make different feel powerful instead of punishing. Now the transformation doubles as testimony. When he walks into a school gym and says, "I know what shame feels like," kids believe him. When he says, "This isn't about getting small, it's about taking up space the right way," you feel it. And suddenly, the number on the scale becomes a symbol, not a scoreboard. It says, "Healing is contagious." It says, "If I can change one ritual, I can change one life. Maybe mine, maybe yours." And the whispers online? They're getting louder. Fans are already predicting a second act surge. New roles, new projects, maybe a deeper dive into mental health and recovery conversations. To be clear, that's speculation, but you can feel it. The industry loves a comeback, and this one isn't built on scandal. It's built on slow, stubborn growth. He didn't swap one obsession for another. He learned balance. If opportunity knocks, he'll answer from a steadier place. And if it doesn't, he'll keep building the life that makes the role a bonus, not a lifeline. But the most important chapter hasn't been written yet. He's 55 pounds from his target, 320. Why that number? Because it represents control. Not skinny, not someone else's ideal. His benchmark for feeling dangerous in the best way. Capable, mobile, free. The goal isn't just to get there. It's to stay there without the tightrope. He's building maintenance into the climb. Date nights that don't default to drive-thrus. Celebrations that don't need cake to count. Holidays that honor the season without erasing the system. He's practicing the lifestyle he wants to live at goal before he gets there. And there's a reason that matters more than aesthetics. He remembers who he was in that parking lot. The isolation, the loop, the question he couldn't answer. Why do I feel this way? He doesn't promise to never feel it again. He promises to answer it differently. Call a friend, take a loop, drink water, eat a real meal at a real table, wait 10 minutes. Name the feeling without feeding it. He knows triggers don't vanish, they morph. So he built a toolkit. Movement for mood, protein for stability, sleep as medicine, sunlight as a reset button, and honesty as the shield. Not perfect, prepared. But there's another truth he learned the hard way. Transformation isn't a highlight reel. It's a contract. You negotiate with yourself daily. What am I willing to do even when no one claps? He found out momentum is rented, not owned. Consistency pays the rent, and identity writes the lease. He stopped saying, "I'm trying to lose weight," and started saying, "I'm the kind of person who takes care of his body." That one line changes how you order, how you move, how you bounce back. Identity beats motivation because it doesn't need hype. It needs proof. And proof stacks quietly until it looks like luck. And the internet comments? He read them and chose his response. Some cheered, some doubted. Some asked for his exact macros like there's a secret code. He answered with grace. Your plan doesn't have to look like mine to work like mine. He reminded people that bodies keep score in different ways. What heals me might not heal you. He refused to shame his before because that version carried him here. He's not at war with his past. He's in partnership with his future. And that posture, humble, honest, unflinching, might be why this story resonates beyond Hollywood. But the part that will stick with you is quiet. A red carpet photo from years ago beside a fresh snapshot today. Same eyes, softer face, lighter frame. But it's the expression that lands. The kind of smile that belongs to someone who has learned to trust himself, not perform. Trust. The biggest plot twist isn't the weight he lost, it's the weight he no longer carries in secret, hiding, apologizing, making jokes before anyone else can. He walks differently now, not because he's smaller, because he's safer inside his own skin. And now, the question turns to us. What does "I got this" mean when nobody's watching? Maybe it's parking farther and calling it progress. Maybe it's swapping one binge for one breath. Maybe it's admitting the thing we use to soothe us is slowly undoing us, and saying it out loud anyway. Quinton's milestone is a mirror. It asks, if you can't change everything today, what can you change for the next 10 minutes? Because 10 minutes done daily turns into 200 pounds of proof. He's not finished. He's focused. 55 pounds to go, sure. But more importantly, a lifetime to live differently. The role from The Blind Side made him famous. This role, author of his own life, makes him free. Tell me, which part of his journey hit you the hardest? The confession, the comeback, or the commitment to keep going when the applause fades? Drop your thoughts below, and if you're rooting for the final 55, hit subscribe. The next chapter is coming either way, but it'll be better with you here to witness it.